Have you ever realized the more you open up to your family, the more complicated things become? At this age, we all learn some hard truths. And here's one. I wish someone had told me earlier. Not everything needs to be shared publicly. Don't get me wrong. I used to believe that radical honesty was the best way to keep the people you love safe. But over time and a few hard lessons, I've learned something else. Sometimes silence isn't hiding its wisdom. It's not keeping secrets. It's choosing peace over drama, privacy over pressure. After 65, you've earned the right to protect your energy. You've earned the right to keep certain parts of your life sacred just for you. So today, from my heart to yours, I want to share 5 things that in my experience are best kept to yourself. If you want to reduce stress in your relationships, if you value independence and emotional freedom as you age, then stick with me until the end of this video. I promise it will be worth it. And hey, if this message resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and join our growing family at Golden Age Doctor, where wisdom, health, and independence shine brighter than ever. Okay, let's get started. 1. Your financial decisions and details. If there's one thing life has taught me, it's this. You don't have to share every detail, especially when it comes to money. I know that sounds a little harsh. Many of us were raised to believe that openness and transparency, especially with family, are valuable. And sure, when we're young, that openness can build trust. But after 65, it can breed confusion, judgment, and unfortunately, even control. Let me tell you about Margaret, a charming, soft-spoken 78-year-old who has spent her life building a modest but solid nest egg. Her 3 children are grown, all doing well. One afternoon, she sat down and shared a financial plan with them. She thought it would make them feel more secure. Instead, the questions kept coming. Are you sure you want to stay in such a big house? Wouldn't it be smarter to invest in something else? Maybe you should start giving gifts now before the taxes get in the way. One daughter even brought along a financial advisor, uninvited. What started out as an act of transparency turned into constant skepticism. Margaret went from feeling confident to feeling like she was being watched. The truth is, when you open the door too wide, people will walk in with their opinions, plans, even worries. Sometimes it's well-intentioned, sometimes it's not. But either way, it erodes your peace of mind. Think about it. Have you ever had a relative suddenly become more interested in you after learning you had a savings account? Has a grandchild ever asked about your will out of the blue? It's not always for a bad reason, but it can make you feel unsettled. That's why I say this, gently but firmly. You're not hiding. You're being smart. You have every right to keep your financial life private. You don't have to tell anyone your bank balance. You don't have to explain every purchase. And no, you don't have to justify buying a cruise, a comfy new chair, or a better hearing aid. It's your choice, and yours alone. Of course you should plan ahead. Have a clear will. Assign a trustworthy power of attorney. Choose a point person for when the time is right. That's smart, but telling your family every detail too early, that can shift the dynamic. Suddenly, they're not trusting you to manage your life. They're trying to manage it for you. And once that shift happens, it's hard to undo. So if you've ever felt like someone is watching your wallet more than your well-being, pause. That's not the life you worked so hard to build. You deserve your peace, your freedom, your privacy. Privacy is not secrecy. It's protection. Protect your peace. Just because someone loves you doesn't mean they understand your boundaries. So keep your conversations around money thoughtful and measured. Only open up to those who've earned your trust and who know how to respect your choices. Because your independence isn't something you should have to justify. It's something you've earned. And now it's something you have every right to protect, just like you've protected everything else that mattered in your life. 2. Non-urgent health concerns. Now let's talk about something we all deal with: little aches and pains. A sore knee after gardening, a stiff back after sitting too long, a night of tossing and turning. All perfectly normal, all part of life after 65. And of course, we want to share these little moments with the people we love: our children, our grandkids. We think they care. I don't want to hide anything. This brings us closer. But here's what I've learned. There's a fine line between keeping your family informed and unintentionally overwhelming them. Let me tell you about Tom, a friend from my walking group. He's 74, active, loves to garden. One day, he casually mentioned that his shoulders were a bit sore after trimming hedges. The next day, his daughter had already booked a doctor's appointment. She started calling twice a day. Then she brought up hiring help for the yard. Tom wasn't upset. He knew it came from love, but he couldn't shake the feeling that everyone suddenly saw him as fragile. That's the risk. When we mention every small discomfort, even casually, people can begin to see us differently. They might start to assume we're declining faster than we are. They might hesitate to invite us on trips, or worse, start managing us. Of course, if something serious is going on, if your health truly impacts your daily life, your family should know. But those smaller things, that sore knee, the creaky elbow, a bad night's sleep, it's okay to keep those to yourself. That's not hiding. It's preserving your dignity, because you know your body better than anyone else. You've lived in it for over 6 decades. You can tell the difference between what needs attention and what just needs a little rest. Growing older doesn't mean giving up control. In fact, it should mean more control, because now you know yourself better than ever. So the next time you feel that familiar ache or tiredness, ask yourself, is this something I need help with? Or is this something I just need to acknowledge quietly and move on? Your peace in later life doesn't come from others worrying about you. It comes from knowing yourself, choosing what to share, and living with quiet confidence in your own wisdom. Number 3. Your true thoughts on family conflicts. Let's be honest, if you've made it past 65, you've probably seen a fair share of family drama. Arguments over money, tension between siblings, passive-aggressive remarks at holiday dinners, the occasional cold shoulder from a daughter-in-law. And you might feel like it's your job to help, to offer wisdom, to mediate, to fix it. I used to feel that way too, until I learned the hard truth. Even the kindest words can be taken the wrong way when emotions are high. Let me tell you about Elaine, a gentle woman from our book club. One day, she casually told her daughter, "Maybe it's time little Jake learns to pick up his toys, huh?" It was lighthearted. It came from love, but her daughter didn't take it that way. The phone calls slowed down. The invite stopped. The warmth cooled. That one comment created a distance that never fully healed. We older folks often become the casualties of conflicts we didn't start. You try to help your children sort out a disagreement, and suddenly both are accusing you of picking sides. You comment on a grandchild's behavior and get labeled judgmental. You offer advice and somehow end up the villain. Why? Because even when you mean well, when emotions are raw, your words can be twisted. And here's the part that hurts the most. When the argument fades, people often remember what you said, not why they were upset in the first place. So what's the answer? Silence. Gentle, peaceful, intentional silence. You don't have to take sides. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to say what you really think. Sometimes the wisest response is, "I trust you'll figure it out." And then, smile, step back, protect your heart. It's not weakness. It's not avoidance. It's wisdom. You've lived long enough to know that people have to grow through their own lessons. Your peace is too precious to spend on other people's battles. Let's pause here for a moment. So far, we've talked about keeping your financial life private, respecting your own space when it comes to health, and choosing peace over participation in family fights. Coming up next, 2 more powerful things you may want to keep to yourself after 65, including something that might surprise you. So if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever shared too much and regretted it? Or have you learned to hold certain things close? If you're nodding along, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to Golden Age Doctor for more thoughtful conversations like this. The power of silence in family conflict. And most importantly, never feel guilty about keeping your thoughts to yourself. You see, at this stage in life, we learn something difficult and sacred. Speaking from the heart doesn't always lead to understanding. And sometimes silence is the kindest form of love because it gives the other person space. Space to learn, space to stumble, space to grow. Let your children find their own path. Let your family grow at their own pace. You don't have to fight every fight to prove you care. Instead, be the calm in the storm. Not because you're avoiding conflict. It's because you've grown up and you no longer need to be involved in every conversation, every argument, every correction. Your peace is too precious to trade for temporary recognition. And above all, never forget, you have earned this peace. Guard it fiercely, even and especially from those you love. If you find something interesting, I'd love to hear from you. Just type yes in the comments. Let me know you're here, because your voice matters in this community. Number 4, your regrets about the past. Now let's talk about something few people prepare us for. Living with the things we can no longer change. Regret is part of being human. I wish I had slowed down more. I wish I'd chased my dreams. I wish I had spent more time with my children. We've all had those thoughts, but here's the truth. Not every regret needs to be shared, especially not with the people we love most. Let me tell you about Linda, a devoted mother who spent decades raising her kids with care and grace. One afternoon, while sipping tea with her daughter, she said almost absent-mindedly, "I wish I hadn't given up my career." She didn't mean to hurt anyone. She was simply reflecting, but what her daughter heard was, "You aren't worth the sacrifice." That one sentence spoken in passing quietly created space between them, a silence that was never quite filled. That's the thing about regret. What feels like a private truth to us can sound like rejection to someone else. You say, "I wish I'd lived somewhere else," and your kids might think you were unhappy in the home they loved. You speak fondly of an old flame or a long-lost dream, and they may wonder, was I ever enough? And over time, when regret becomes a common theme, people can start to see you not as someone aging with grace, but as someone stuck in the past. They may grow distant, unsure of how to connect with someone who seems to be mourning a life they can't be part of. Now, I'm not saying you should bottle it all up. Your stories, your reflections, they matter. There's deep wisdom in them, but not every lesson needs to be shared out loud. Some of the most sacred truths we carry are meant to stay between us and ourselves, not because we're hiding anything, but because we're protecting peace in our relationships. So instead of saying, "I wish I had," try saying, "I've learned a lot from that journey." It's softer, stronger. It holds gratitude instead of sorrow. It honors your story without placing the weight of your regrets on someone else's heart. The truth is, peace in our later years doesn't come from rewriting the past. It comes from the grace we give ourselves in how we choose to live with it. And that grace is yours to give. Nobody else has to understand it. Just you. Season 5, the full picture of your financial situation. Let's return to one of the most delicate subjects of all, money. Growing older teaches us so much about love loss legacy, but one of the most important lessons is this. You don't have to share everything, especially when it comes to your finances. Money is like a magnifying glass. It reveals people's values and sometimes their discomforts too. In families, money can bring out the best intentions and also stir up jealousy, entitlement, or resentment. Once you share too much, you can't take it back. Here's a quiet truth worth reflecting on. The moment people know you have enough, they start seeing you differently. They may not even realize they're doing it, but suddenly little comments slip in. Why don't you just downsize? Are you leaving something for the grandkids? Have you thought about giving while you're still alive? These questions may sound caring, but they often come with expectations, not boundaries. On the flip side, if you admit you're struggling financially, the reaction can shift just as fast. Some may overstep, questioning your choices, inserting themselves into your plans. Others may worry excessively or make you feel like you've become their responsibility. Either way, it leads to one thing: loss of control. And at this stage of life, your freedom to choose to act, to enjoy what you've built, should never be compromised by someone else's projections. That doesn't mean you live in secrecy. It means you protect your boundaries. You create space between what you know and what you choose to share. You plan ahead. You choose one or two trusted people. You write a clear will. You prepare a power of attorney. You get your house in order privately, quietly, and confidently. But you don't owe anyone full access to your financial life. Not out of guilt, not out of fear, not even out of love. Because the best gift you can give your family isn't control over your decisions. It's the confidence that you've made them with care. Let's take a deep breath here. We've now walked through 5 deeply personal things you may want to keep to yourself in your later years. Your financial details, minor health issues, your real thoughts on family drama, your regrets, the full picture of your financial life. None of these are about secrecy. They're about strength, wisdom, and above all, peace. Let's enjoy one last quiet moment together, because what starts as anxiety can sometimes slowly erode something much more precious: your independence. True freedom in your later years isn't just about how much money you have in the bank. It's about having the final say in what you do with what you've built. And when you share too much information about your savings, investments, or financial plans, you're sharing more than just numbers. You're opening the door to opinions, pressure, expectations, and sometimes even judgment. Many people believe that complete transparency will prevent misunderstandings. But the truth is, misunderstandings can be cleared up. That sense of entitlement, once it takes root, it rarely goes away. And when others start to see your wealth as more than you are worth, it changes the relationship in ways that are hard to change. That doesn't mean you should live in secrecy. It's wise to have a trusted executor, legal counsel, or financial advisor. But beyond what's legally required, be selective, be proactive, be protective. Because privacy, real healthy privacy, isn't about secrecy. It's about protection. Think about it. True respect doesn't come from knowing your net worth. It comes from knowing that no one else has control over it. And if someone in your family only comes up when it comes to money, maybe they're not after your heart. It's your wallet. And it's not love. It's access. Protecting your financial privacy isn't distrust. It's peace of mind, personal dignity, the freedom to live your life on your terms. You've worked so hard, sacrificed so much to build this life. And ultimately, a happy retirement isn't defined by how much you can give away. It's defined by how freely you can live on your own terms. So now, as we wrap up this conversation, I want you to join me in taking a breath. A real breath. A breath that says, "This moment is mine." Because you, my dear friend, have spent your life caring for others, raising children, keeping the peace, putting others first. And now, it's your turn. At this stage of life, peace is not a luxury. It's a birthright. And sometimes the best way to protect it is to keep some truths to yourself. Not out of fear, not out of shame, not because you have something to hide, but because you've become wise enough to know what's worth sharing and what's worth protecting. Your peace of mind, your independence, your joy, All of these things are worth preserving. You have earned the right to live the rest of your life with clarity, calm, and confidence. If this video resonates with you, even a part of it resonates, I would be honored if you would like to let us know. Subscribe to Golden Age Doctor. And most of all, share this message with someone you care about, because someone else may be carrying similar thoughts, regrets, hopes, and your sharing could be the light they've been waiting for. Before you go, tell us in the comments, what are you choosing to keep to yourself from now on? We read every message, and I promise you, your story may inspire someone else to find their own peace. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Wherever you are in your journey, may you feel grounded in your truth, guided by your wisdom, and surrounded by the quiet strength you've always carried inside. Until next time, my friend, take care of your peace and protect it like the treasure it is. This is Golden Age Doctor, where your best years are still unfolding.